Hi everybody, it's David Porter. Today I want to talk about heroin. Here's a short version. Heroin is a highly addictive drug. If you try it even once, there's a high probability you will become addicted to it. If you continue using it, there's a high probability you will overdose on it and it will kill you within 7 years. The average heroin addict has a lifespan of 7 years from the time they first start using until they experience a fatal overdose. What exactly is heroin? It's also known as diacetylmorphine. It is sourced from the opium poppy. Opium poppies grow in Afghanistan, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, and Burma. And you will have poppy fields, huge poppy fields as far as the eye can see. And in a very labor-intensive process, the bulbs of the poppies are scored so that a sap will emerge and dry into a sticky gum. And this gum is scraped off and collected. That gum is raw opium. Opium contains 3 primary chemical compounds that are of interest. Thebaine, which is inert and discarded. Codeine, which is a weak opiate, and also a anti-diarrheal. It has legitimate market value. And morphine, which is a strong opiate, which also has legitimate market value. However, the morphine can also be converted into diacetylmorphine. It can be refined into diacetylmorphine, better known as heroin. Converting the morphine into diacetylmorphine increases its bioavailability. It makes it much easier for your body to absorb. And it is also much stronger than morphine. It's approximately 10 times stronger than morphine by volume. The initial product that comes from heroin production from raw opium is heroin number 2. Heroin number 2 cannot be injected because it is pretty much non-water soluble. If you try mixing it with a liquid medium and injecting it, it just turns into a gum. Heroin number 2 is further refined into heroin number 3. Heroin number 3 is also known as China White, and it's what most people think of when they talk about heroin. 100% pure China White will probably never hit the street and be sold to individual users. It doesn't work that way because, number one, it's not going to maximize the profits of the dealers, it's not going to maximize the profits of the suppliers who provide the dealers with their drugs. The heroin number 3 is going to be cut multiple times or stepped on or adulterated. Those are all synonymous terms with pretty much any white or off-white water-soluble powder. Confectionery sugar, baking soda, baking powder, and mannitol and sorbitol are common cutting agents. This is done to increase the volume and the weight of the product in order to maximize profit. And if pure China White ever hit the streets, it would kill people immediately. By the time the average addict gets a hold of the average bag of heroin, it's probably going to be less than 15% pure. Sometimes down to only 6 or 7% pure. Most of what is in that little bag of white powder will be adulterants. Again, baking soda, confectionery sugar, ground up aspirin, pretty much anything that will dissolve in water. Heroin can be snorted or insufflated, or it can be mixed with a liquid medium and injected. Either method is going to cause the heroin to breach the blood-brain barrier and produce an effect within seconds. The effect is going to be very intense. People have told me that the first time they shot up heroin or snorted it, two things happened. First, most of them threw up. It produced nausea and vomiting. That is followed by, or you may not even get the nausea and vomiting, you might just get this sensation, what feels like an orgasm throughout your entire body, a very intense full body rush that people have unanimously told me is better than sex. This is followed by 3 to 5 hours of a very relaxed, warm, comfortable feeling, sort of like you're laying in a tub of hot water, in a bathtub of hot water, or you're in a hot tub or a jacuzzi, and their waves are breaking over you very slowly. It's a very pleasant feeling, and you will be freed of all physical pain and all psychological pain. It's going to be very compelling to reuse, but it's going to come with a very big price tag, because even after using it once, your tolerance will have gone up. Your body will have adapted to the drug. The next time you use that same amount and roughly same purity of heroin, you're not going to get as intense a feeling. It's still going to be better than most anything you felt, but it's not going to feel as good as that first time. So what are you going to do? You're going to up the dose. You're going to seek something with higher purity in an effort to recapture that initial first time high, which you will never be able to recapture, because every time you use, your body will increase the tolerance for the drug. Your body will adapt, and your body will require more of the drug. In a very short time, as little as a few weeks of steady using, if you were to stop suddenly just because you looked at yourself and asked yourself what the hell you were doing and this has to stop, or more likely your dealer got arrested or something happened to cut off the supply, you're going to get sicker than you've ever been in your entire life. It will creep up on you slowly, with your stomach feeling queasy, some cramping, your nose running, eyes watering. You'll get a headache, you'll get a mouthful of toothaches, you will feel like your bones are hurting, your joints and muscles will hurt. You will itch, and it will feel like your bones are itching. It's not going to feel like ordinary itching on your skin. You're going to sweat so profusely, you'll sweat right through your clothing at room temperature. You will be delirious from a high fever and pain. You will be vomiting and have explosive diarrhea, and you will face the very unpleasant prospect of not being able to make it to the toilet on time and having diarrhea or vomiting into the toilet and having diarrhea on the floor. Sitting on the toilet and throwing up on the floor, you're probably not going to be able to contain both at the same time. And this is unfortunately easily fixed. All you have to do is get another dose of heroin and snort it or inject it. Before the plunger is even all the way down, if you shoot it, all of these symptoms are just going to melt away like they had never been there. It will be like a switch is thrown. You'll feel better immediately. Some people have said that before they even stick themselves, just the act of prepping the shot, their symptoms will start to fade away as their body anticipates the incoming heroin. This is the hell that opiate addicts put themselves in. My purpose of making this video, I'm hoping that I reach people who are either just starting out with heroin or very foolishly contemplating trying it. It is death. It is suffering. It will render your life unmanageable very quickly. It will affect your family and all the people around you. You will put yourself in an impossible situation where you will experience this counterfeit pleasure as it's not real. It's your mu opiate receptors being hijacked and forcing you to feel pleasure regardless of your life circumstances. It's not real. And you will be caught between that counterfeit pleasure and the very real hell of agonizingly painful withdrawal symptoms that will hurt worse than anything you've ever felt. And the whole time you're suffering, you will know, all I have to do is get my hands on a little bit, just a little bit. This will melt away like magic within seconds. That's going to be a lot of temptation. It'll take a tremendous effort of will to resist reaching for it. So I hope that the right people are hearing this message, and that if you haven't done anything yet, realize that whatever you're contemplating, you don't have to move forward. You can stop. You can step back. You can step back from the brink. Your life does not have to change and get any worse than what it is today. If you are using, the next time could be the last time. The next time could be that dose of heroin that's been cut with fentanyl. It could be a higher purity than you're accustomed to. A lot of things can go wrong. Next time could be the last time. Get professional help. Stop and think about what you're doing. Get professional help and stop before it goes any further. It doesn't have to go further. A few years ago, I had a patient who somebody I'd seen for years. We had a very good professional relationship, and I saw her on a Friday, and everything was okay. She said everything was okay. It was not okay. She was dead the next day from a heroin overdose. And the last thing I remember about her talking to her is I never noticed how pretty her eyes were. She had very pretty deep brown eyes, and I almost said so. I almost told her that, but I didn't, because I felt like it would have been an inappropriate boundary, so I didn't say it. I really regret not saying it. For some reason, I wish I had said it. I don't know. I'm imagining that maybe if I had given her a compliment, helped her feel a little better about herself, maybe she wouldn't have done that the next day. But I also realized that's probably completely ridiculous, and I'm just feeling an irrational guilt about it. But it's just something I think about very frequently. So if you're involved in this, if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, look in the mirror, take a long, hard look at yourself, and step back from it before it's too late. Thanks for watching. Be safe.